Okay, so I made some lines here, and now I want to play around with them a little bit more. So before we go into some detail, you notice that I didn't do anything on the second half of the board down at the bottom. So if I maybe made my lines like a little bit longer like that, I can always take them, if you notice, and click on them, and I get a bounding box, and I can make them smaller or larger. It's kind of cool. I can also, by the way, rotate them. So neat stuff. Anyway, but I'm going to keep my lines kind of up here because I'm going to be doing something more at the bottom. If you drew them bigger, I can show you how to fix that later another way as well. So I'm going to click on my first line, and I don't think I'm going to do much to it, but you'll notice that when I click, I get these other options right here. Okay. I'm not going to spend too much time focusing on all of these right now. The only one I really want to talk about right now is something called the stroke width. And that's basically how thick the line is. So if I click on this and I drag this over to the right, you can see that I have a noticeable change in my line width. And I can change these at any time. And I can change them back too. Like, this is what I love about Illustrator, is that this is editable after the fact. So that's how you would change the stroke. So I'm going to just go in and manipulate them each, give them each maybe a different stroke. And I'm going to show you a couple other tricks too as well once we get going with this. But the other thing I want to do to these now is play around a little bit with their color. So if I click on this one and I go back to here, this gives me my stroke options. And you can see that while I do have black chosen, I can select a color. That doesn't mean the color selected. It means it's so dark that of a red that it looks black. So I'm going to bring this, oops, grabbing the wrong thing. Grab this up. So now I'm grabbing clearly a blue, which it's hard to see right here. I think I'll make that a little thicker so it becomes a little bit more obvious. And if you can't see that one very well, let me click on another one. And again, let's make it green. And again, so thin you can't even tell really. So I'll make that a little thicker, right? Clearly a green color. Okay, so that's how you would change the color of these. Pretty easy to do. I'm going to kind of manipulate this one a little bit first, and then come in here and do the same, right? Change the color. And again, there's lots of different ways you can play around with this. I'm just showing you how to just kind of manipulate the basic colors to begin with. So for each line, just make it a different color. Okay, very, very simple. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how, after we've done all this, how to even take this up a step further and some other cool features.